Am I the asshole for getting a waitress fired from her job because she left me her phone number? I, 20 meters, went for dinner with my family, parents in their 50s, right before the lockdown. Anyway, there was a fairly attractive waitress, looked to be in her 20s, serving us. Afterwards, she left her phone number for me with a smiley face saying she found me cute. For several reasons, I was quite irritated by this. First and foremost, my parents teased me about this, which made me feel uncomfortable. Secondly, it seems very unprofessional and personal. I'm a customer, and she is the server. She doesn't know me, and this was a very forward thing to do. I'd ideally just like to have had my food without any issues. So after finishing, I asked to speak to the manager and filed a complaint. I checked on Facebook for the page of the restaurant and I saw someone leave a bad review for the place. Lo and behold, it was her. She got fired. My sister said I was an ass for doing this, but I think I was well within my rights. AITA? Bro, she dodged a bullet. You're a piece of fucking work, LMFAO. It a point, right? I like that he admits he found her attractive, but then throws her under the bus because, oh no, his parents teased him. I'm a woman, and being given a phone number would not upset me. Trying to chat me up in the restaurant, waiting for me outside the loos to catch me alone, trying to give me free stuff, so I feel beholden, not taking no for an answer, all of which have happened, sometimes multiple times, would upset me. Giving me a phone number leaves the ball in my court and is fine. It shows interest without pressure. It's all the other shit guys do that is unprofessional. Oppositor. I'm on the fence on this one. On one hand, I see your point and agree 100% that people should be able to eat in peace without getting aggressively hit on. But on the other hand, just leaving their phone number is a pretty mild way to hit on someone. If she had done anything more than that, I'd say she is in the wrong. But Op doesn't mention her acting unprofessionally while serving them, except for leaving the number. Since the way she hit on him could be easily ignored. Not her fault Op's parents teased him about it. I don't feel like she's an R, even if I try to imagine the situation with switched genders. But, as you point out, if she was fired, she probably has crossed the line before, and more seriously than just leaving her number. If her boss decided to fire her about one small infraction, she's probably better off without working there. How is it her fault that his family teased him? And if the genders were reversed, everyone would still say it, call the Op a Karen, and make comments about hard dating is for guys. She just casually left a number. She didn't flirt with him or press the issue. He could have just thrown the number away and told his family to lay off. I'm also a woman who frequently gets phone numbers and asked out despite me being married and wearing a wedding ring. I agree that it can be annoying when someone is very pushy or persistent. But I'm not going to complain about a simple phone number. I just throw it away. If this isn't fake, AITA. Full stop. Your attitude about social interactions in general fucking sucks. And also, it's not her fault at all that your parents teased you about it. Exactly. AITA. If you're looking for someone to blame for your parents teasing, blame your parents. Leaving her number was a harmless flirtation. She waited until after your meal was over and you were leaving, so it didn't affect your service, and she wasn't being overly forward or creepy. Sounds like you overreacted and reported her to the manager out of pettiness because your parents' comments embarrassed you. Exactly. I was a server for years and still pick up shifts here and there. Guys and a couple women leave me their numbers. I've left mine for customers. We never discuss it. I just grab the check and there's the number. If I'm not interested, I don't call. The growth customers are the ones who put their hands on you, make lewd suggestions, etc. I've never seen a server do that to a customer, nor have I seen a server verbally ask a customer out. Op is most definitely AITA. What the fuck? If this was a male waiter leaving his number for a female customer, all these people calling Op the ass would be screaming about it being creepy and unprofessional. Welcome to the usual Reddit double standards. No, in this instance I don't think switching the roles would change anything at all. Leaving a number at the bottom of a receipt when you are literally expected to leave in a few minutes is the least aggressive and least creepy way to hit on someone. Now if the note said something explicitly sexual, or if she followed them out to the car, there'd be some creep factor regardless of gender. AITA. She didn't pressure you or push it. She left her number so that the ball was entirely in your court. Instead you humiliated her and got her fired. It was a huge escalation of a minor thing. If it truly made you upset, then you should have said something directly to her instead of calling over a manager and then moved on. This guy would explode if he got hit on the way women are usually. Men groping you, not taking no for an answer. I'm going to break with the rest of people here and say NTA solely for the reason you saved her from potentially going on a date with you, or even worse, a relationship. AITA X Infinity. I hope another woman never looks your way again. How dare you take a person's livelihood from them over your petty bullshit. You suck. AITA. She left her number. You could have thrown it out. You weren't cornered or anything. It would have been wrong if she'd asked you out there. I hope you feel guilty. He got a girl fired in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know if this took place in the US, but over 40 million people here are currently unemployed, and jobs aren't exactly growing on trees. AITA. Opus. You're a 20-year-old man who can't take a gentle ribbing from his parents, so you went and made someone's life more difficult than it already was. You suck. AITA. My dude could have just tossed the number and not have thrown a complaint at the manager. What does it matter if your parents are teasing you? You're a grown-ass adult. Tell them to either knock it off or ignore it and move on. If your family dynamics isn't toxic as hell, they are probably doing it to try and elicit a smile from you grumpy pants. Dang. Got someone else fired just cause they left you their number? Freaking wild. She didn't harass you. She didn't put you on the spot. She didn't do anything uncommon or invasive. She did something very common for waiters/waitresses. Very discreetly and politely. She left it entirely in your court to make a move or ignore. You're too awkward and insecure to handle teasing about girls from your parents, despite being a grown man, so you lashed out at her instead. AITA. I'm a woman and a waiter has left me his number before. I didn't find it weird or unprofessional at all. This isn't a gender thing. He's just an asshole. Same here. It's honestly the most respectful way I've been hit on by a stranger, by just slipping your number at the end of your interaction. You're not pressuring them, you're just giving them an opportunity that is really easy to ignore if that's what they want. You are the asshole. What if she needs that money? You took it way too far and have affected her life probably for a long time period. What you should have done is pulled her aside to a more empty space and told her that you didn't want her to do that, or just ignored it and moved on. One of those two would have been enough. How can you not see how clearly you are the asshole? AITA. She did something harmless and flattering. Yes, I'd say the same if the genders were reversed. I've waitressed a bunch and customers would regularly leave me their numbers, and I've also had bar staff give me their numbers. If I'm not interested, I simply don't text them. Your parents teased you about something, and your response is to get a poor girl fired? If I were your parents, I would be genuinely disappointed. You poor dear. You were quite irritated because mommy and daddy teased you because a fairly attractive woman said you looked cute and gave you her number. So you complained to management and got her fired? It's clear you were hoping for something like this to happen, or you wouldn't have been checking their FB page. Did you share with your parents what you did? I wonder how proud of their baby boy getting her fired would make them feel. Oh yeah, AITA. I guess this is an unpopular opinion, but NTA. That is unprofessional, and her getting fired isn't your fault. I was a server for a few years and I'd never leave my number for anyone, as they are just there to eat, not be checked out and flirted with. Her getting fired isn't your fault, as I'm sure there has been past complaints if they outright fired her for it. Imagine if the genders were reversed. People would be applauding Op for getting the creepy waiter fired. I would never think to give a customer my number. AITA. This happens both directions really commonly. A customer will leave their number or a server will leave theirs. If she said something explicit, or if her service was inappropriate because she was hitting on you, that would be one thing. I have had this experience. It's awful. But if the interaction is professional with a phone number at the end, AITA. My dad met my mom because she was a school nurse and he was picking up his daughter from school, divorced. She was working, he was a client. It's really common to meet people that way. You ruined her livelihood over that. Was she rude to you? Did she screw up your order? Did she spit in your food? Those are things you tell the manager, not her leaving you her phone number. How many times do you think she got hit on or was given phone numbers from customers? And she would have just had to smile and be polite, even if it made her uncomfortable, so she wouldn't lose her job. So, maybe think before you do something that could affect someone's life because you were embarrassed. AITA. And here's why. If she was doing anything actually unprofessional, you would have slapped it in here, no doubt about it. And it's in human nature to embellish facts to make themselves sound better when telling a story. So in this are obviously saying the best version to sound better. You added the bad review at the NBC. Hindsight saw that you sounded bad and needed justification. I'm a decently attractive film presenting person and have had waitstaff act way worse than this at a restaurant. I've had men literally take tables from their coworkers to try and get my number. I've had waitstaff follow me to my car to try and get my number. All she did was leave you her number. A smiley face. Honestly, she dodged a huge bullet and you made her lose her job on a fucking whim. BC what? Her parents teased you. Oh no. The whole world is ending. BC her parents make a few jokes at her expense. Grow the fuck up. AITA. Blew an innocuous encounter into a shitstorm for this young lady. I can't understand the outrage. Take the piece of paper and lose it. No harm, no foul. It's 2020. Women are allowed to be forward approaching men now. Or is it a case of not wanting to get involved with the hired help? Is the parents teasing too much? Maybe they were teasing because of a rational response. You intentionally deflected your reason for becoming upset. Hiding this fact makes you an asshole simply because she wasn't. Sure, passing a number doesn't necessarily conform to professional server code of conduct. However, I don't think it's worth losing a job over.